everyone. Welcome back to Nasty Gurls Clubhouse. I'm Kim.
And I'm Cassie.
Today we have a really special guest for you, Ana Dee, also known as Rebecca Blue or Miss Mothership on Instagram. She's the owner of the Horny Stoner, Alien Outfitters, Babes and Blades.
Yeah.
And the Slutrepreneur podcast, and she's a recently published author. So let's give her a little
Boss bitch round of applause.
That's just a random one, yeah.
Action.
I think we did that last time.
Yeah.
All right. Welcome, Ana. Thank you so much for being here. We're so excited to have you.
I'm so fucking excited.
At the top of the town.
Oh, God. No. You leave town and then everyone talks about you.
Thanks.
For sure. Definitely good things. Yes. Fingers crossed. Okay. I'm going to jump right in. I want to start with my question. So, obviously, I'm partial. I've loved you. Well, let's give a
You've loved me, or do you love me?
Both. Both. I've loved her once upon a time.
I know. The different me back then.
Yeah. No, I still love you even more.
Oh.
So we'll give it a brief background. I met Ana a long time ago and even though this is a female-centered kind of podcast, I'm going to give a round of applause to the men out there because I met you through your man.
Oh, yeah.
And Ana through her man. So
10 years ago.
10 oh, my gosh.
Fucking years ago.
History.
Yeah.
History.
Yeah, and just good people. We've always vibed and kept in contact since.
Well, let me say, the first time I met you was at like a boxing match or something. Mm-hmm. And I remember Jay saying, like, oh, we're going to meet my friend Cassie. He always talked about you. Just vaguely, you helped, with his dogs and some things at the house. And I remember, he always said such good things about you. But when you've never met a friend girl of your boyfriend's, like, you're always like, why is he so infatuated with how cool she is? So when I met you at the show, all I remember is you had these, like, huge platform black, like, sandals on, because you were like, I can just never see, so I have to, like, lift myself up.
Yeah.
And I think, like, I don't know if we were buddy the whole time, but I remember leaving and being like, I can see why she's, like, your friend, and I've never met a guy who's had friend girls. Yeah. I've just probably been around bad guys, but I think, like, what you said is really cool, how round of applause to guys that can have really positive friendships with females and then connect them to other females, and there's no shade or anything. So very grateful.
I am.
We did think that you were the most fitting to have a podcast with, since I got to be on your podcast.
Shout out to that episode.
So much. I loved it so much. And immediately I got off and I was like, Cassie, do you want to have a podcast? Have you ever thought about it?
What did you love so much about doing the show?
I don't know. Okay, so for years I've never liked my voice with doing, like, the sex work. Yeah. Like, I didn't want to talk in videos. That was just, like, I don't know. There was, like, a different level of comfort that came out in the conversation. And I felt like you made it so, like, very natural. And I think, too, you didn't supply me with questions. I kind of just went on and it was natural. I don't know. It just felt right. And I was like, I want to do that. I love that.
Yeah, there's such a beauty in conversation, especially when it's constructive. And, there's, like, such a good purpose for the listeners, because it's just between us right now, but it's going to, like, domino effect eventually. And then it's kind of like leaving a little bit of your legacy behind too, because it's, published in a way.
Oh, definitely. And then I think, too, is because at the time my feet selling pictures, videos, stank socks, like, it was all, like, the only person that really knew was Rico. And I was like, oh, this is really cool to, like, talk to someone about it that kind of sells weird shit on the internet too.
Yeah, it's like having that big elephant in the room, and, like, when you're looking at it all day, it's just a lot. So when you talk to someone who also owns an elephant, then you can just talk about your pets.
Yeah. But even like some of the stuff that we talked about, like kind of just was like, oh, I never really thought of it that way, but that's so true. I think one of the things that you were like, these guys don't want to just any picture of your big toe. It's like it has to be crafted in their specific way to meet their fetish needs. And I was like, that's so true, because there's a guy that randomly will send me like 5 example pictures and they all look the same to me, but to him, like, it's different. So it's just interesting.
That's a really good point. I feel like feet guys are always the ones sending, like, they'll be like, let me send you examples. And I'm like, oh God, here we go again. The fucking specific motherfuckers. Yeah. And when I did the giantess picture, he was like, you don't look mad enough, or like your foot isn't close enough to the camera, or like you aren't leaning over to show how big you are. And I was just like, all right, once I am done with this guy, like, because I felt like I was giving so much.
Yes, there's a lot. So much critique, and then I feel like their messages alone are this long of everything they want.
Then that's when we talk about pre-tribute, and it's like, all right, if we're gonna go down this road, you can. What is it in OnlyFans when they have to tip to send you a message, depending on what kind of profile you have? That's when it's necessary.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a lot.
That is a lot.
Yeah, well, you can love sex and you don't have to make it a job, because some people just want to enjoy it as for what it is. But for me, when I see, first time I went to a strip club, first time I saw a cam girl, I was like, okay, that looks so easy and I know I can do it 10 times better. So like, I feel stupid not doing it. Like, I feel like it's a disservice to myself.
Right. I'm partial because I love you so much. I think that you're good at everything, most everything.
What a compliment! Thank you.
I know. You are. Tell me something you're not good at.
I'm not good at being a boss, like to other people. I'm good at being my own boss. But I had an assistant for a year. Jay worked with me for a while, but that was impossible. You can't boss your own boyfriend around. I mean, you can, but it's difficult. Yeah. So having, I think now, I'm going to say like 8 people physically under me, and then about 10 people virtually under me. I'm so giving in nature. Like, I give to my followers, I give them all of me. So even the people around me, I have excess everything. So when I have 2 of something, or people send me free stuff, I'm just like, here, do you need this? Here's a bonus. I never feel like I'm paying them. I feel like they're always like helping me at no cost. So I will break myself down to give every piece of me. And when I don't get that in return, it's very disappointing. I think people do that in relationships a lot. I don't like telling people. I'm good at hyping people up. I'm good at giving them reassurance when they're doing a great job, but it's very difficult for me to be like, hey, can we talk about this, or can you step in my office? But I do have the luxury of paying people to do that for me, but it makes me like I have to go, like sometimes I just go in the car and scream because it's so uncomfortable for me. I'm just not built to do it. So
yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah, you're such a boss-ass bitch. Like, I wouldn't think that would make you sweat.
I wouldn't either. I feel like you just wouldn't tolerate bullshit. Like, that's what I, like, get from you.
Maybe with time, like, in growth and age, I will, like, once it's, like, enough is enough. But even if my animals do something wrong, I'm like, it's okay. I love you.
Well, I think exactly like you said, like, you're so empathetic naturally that you're always going to have a very human side to it. Like, you're going to hurt too a little bit, but
yeah.
Yes, actually, like the last time we were talking about like breaking up with guys, where I'd be like, I would make them think that there was going to be a chance in the future just because I felt bad, but not because I wanted I was done with the relationship and I felt too bad.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah, I can't think of anything. I used to think I wasn't good at like doing handy stuff, like putting stuff together. But now with the warehouse having to put together so many desks and stuff, like I'm getting to the point where I don't have to use instructions. But that used to be something I hated because I love buying stuff off Amazon and then it comes and I have to put it together. I don't know. It's just silly. I wish I could sing better. It'd be nice to add that to the talent reel.
Yeah. Don't we all?
Throw some auto-tune on it. No one has to know. So, I mean, you're really young and you're really successful. And I feel like there's probably not many people in your circle that are at the same level as you. Do you feel like that gets a little bit lonely?
Of course. I think we're all a little bit lonely in our own way. And especially with friendships, you're either around people who are very similar to you or very opposite to you. I've always thrived on people that are opposite. I like to be around people that inspire me, but just like you said, it's hard when you're just the youngest in the room. And I've recently come to terms with I bring out the worst in a lot of people. Like either I bring out the best and make you want to be like, yeah, I want to be a boss bitch too, or I'm going to make you realize what you lack, if that makes sense. Like, oh, she's working so hard. I'm not working hard enough. I'll never be good enough. Or, oh my God, she already has a G-Wagon. Like, fuck her. Who does she think she is? Oh my God. Like, just little things that from comments and stuff, even family members, they'll come see my house and then, we're having a bottle of wine later and they're just crying because they've wasted so much time in their life and don't have a house yet. And I'm just like, okay, I'm sorry. And it sucks. And I remember Cassie meeting your now boyfriend, and he was one of the first influential people I met that took me seriously and really gave off some sort of mentor vibe, which I've never experienced before. And I was like, oh, I didn't know there was this type of person around. Maybe I need to start attracting more people who have businesses and brands. But at the same time, I was like 18 or 19 and it just wasn't realistic. But it's with social media and like lack of social circle due to not going to college, it's been one of the most difficult hardships for me. So I get that juice of friendship through social media. Like going on live, I can get a little bit of what I need from what I lack in my real life. Mm-hmm. That's a great question, though.
Yeah. Well, and actually, I want to piggyback off of that. Both asking for myself, raising two tiny women, and for our listeners out there. So I feel like I probably wouldn't, okay, I'll take that back. I would change some things, but, I'm very grateful. I was going to say that I spent my early 20s, wasted it getting wasted, frankly. And now finally in my early 30s, I feel like I've got my shit together, but you've done that so early in your life. So what advice would you give people? Advice do we need to instill on the little ones?
Well, I think just sticking to your own journey, because that's just proof right there. Like our journeys were different, but they were ours. And there's a comfort where you are right now, where you're like, now you're in the next chapter and you get these different experiences. Whereas I'm like, okay, I'm at this point, like I already did it. What comes next? Is it crashing and burnout, or is it buying 10 more warehouses and losing my mind? So I definitely I wouldn't call it regret, but I do internally find myself having a few what ifs, wishing I had those social circles, wishing I tried more drugs, wishing I had more partners. We all do, but as I'm on my journey, I'm like, okay, I will get that outlet through sex work now. I'm going to take back my power and experience the things that I missed because I can do whatever I want. And there's, so the advice getting to that point would be, what's that quote? Like right now you're a masterpiece, but you're also a work in progress.
Mhm.
So if you're in your 20s and you're having a good fucking time, have a good fucking time. But if you're in your 20s and you don't connect to any of the party people around you, then sit at home and work on your empire. You know, I think at a young age, I realized my power in the strip club. I took that power to sex work on the internet. And I realized, I said, if I don't fucking use it now, it's going to be different when I'm 30. So I think having a lot of self-awareness and having positive idols. You know, thank God we have Beyonce and we have Lady Gaga. I think JoJo Siwa just came out as gay, and I'm like, great new idol for the youngins. So just having good, you know. One more thing, like scrolling on Instagram, if I were to just continue following these perfect people, it would put me in a really bad space. So another piece of advice would be to follow people that make you feel good, because if you're spending 7 hours giving your energy into a phone, how is that energy going to help you grow? Is it going to make you feel like shit, or is it going to inspire you to make a life of yourself and to create the journey you want to have?
I do love that, because I do feel like Instagram, again, with all the perfect humans that are out there, we just spend time like comparing ourselves. I mean, I do that so often, but that's really good piece of advice. Just delete them. Don't look at them.
Like when you see feet pictures of other models, does it inspire you, or are you ever like, oh my God, they're doing so good, I'll never make, you know, that much how they are or anything?
I think a little bit of both. Like it's inspiring because like you get inspiration for different poses, different outfits, things like that. Not to the point of copying, but just inspiration. Like, oh, I like that pose. Like, you know.
Because I feel that way too on Twitter sometimes.
Either way, yeah. Are you happy with like where you're at now, or is that kind of again in that? Do I buy 10 more warehouses or?
Wait, Anna, you're a Scorpio, right?
Yes.
Okay, of course.
I don't know if I have this, I don't know. I don't know if childhood trauma has to do with it, but sometimes I feel like I'll never be happy. I'll never be fulfilled. It's kind of like a void that I fill with success, as some people call it. But at the end of the day, I'm going to get tired. I don't want to work as hard. I want to have things automated. And my goals have changed with age. I want to be in an environment that makes me feel free. I want to be around animals. You know, I will get tired of retail. You know, it's not like, it's hard to explain. I'm happy with where I am. I'm happy with the decisions that led me here. But there's still so much more I need to figure out about myself. There's still so many more people I want to meet and build relationships with. And that will ultimately make me feel more successful than money ever would.
Yeah. So what about me time? Is that something that you get right now, or?
Well, me time's the only thing that saved my sanity. I think 2 years ago, taking me time to go to a therapist, go to a psychiatrist, go to a chiropractor, go get massage therapy. Like, I remember feeling like I was wasting a lot of money doing that, especially without insurance. And then the return I got on that was being able to get my head and my body back in the right place to work. Because if I didn't, I would have crashed 5 years ago. So now the me time is the most essential thing. It prevents me from having social time, but I can't have social time unless I'm right. And it's something that's not promoted to people, to like fucking take care of yourself, but it's so routine now. The therapy, massages, like getting a pedicure, especially if it's paid for. What else have I been doing? Just baths and hot yoga. And now I've realized the more I do that, the better of a human I am for everyone. And it translates into my work. So even though it seems like on the internet I'm doing so much, I'm still posting what I want to share and still scrolling through my camera reel and posting something maybe from a year ago that might inspire people. But at the same time, I still try to share the hardships. Like even yesterday, or I think 2 days ago, my skin was the worst it's ever been. I think it's from wearing a mask at hot yoga. And I was just like, the people need to see that I'm not perfect. They need to see.
Yeah, that sounds awful.
It's fucking awful.
I commend you for that too, being in the public eye. I'll say, like you share everything, which I think is a necessity, especially for young impressionable people that are watching you and wanting to do what you do. So I think that's important. Do you keep anything private?
I keep Bay private a little bit.
I know.
It's funny because you know him, but not everyone does. Thank goodness. But they'd steal him.
I know. Absolutely.
I think he had an Instagram for like a week, and he would be like, look at this girl who DM'd me. And I'm like, go fuck yourself. Go on. He's like, are you kidding me? Look at all the dick pics you get. I'm like, that's not right.
Yeah.
It's different.
And people still, they're like, are you single? Why don't you tell us? Like, tell us about him. And I'm just like, I can't give you everything. If I give you all of him, that's going to affect us.
Right. Yeah.
Excuse me. So I've grown a little more into men being more physically attractive. I definitely still think energy is more attractive, and women are by far just magic. But I think it took a really long time for me to think that dicks were even, like, what's the word? Like, I was just like, look at it move! Yeah. It's like, woo!
No, that's so true. I think Rico has a beautiful dick. Like, and I've never said that about anyone, but it could just be, like, the time that we've had together. But when I get a dick pic, I'm just like, gross. From anyone else.
Well, after OnlyFans, I didn't realize the like spectrum of dicks. Like, I just thought dicks were like, here's the head, and now I'm seeing like small heads, ginormous heads, like huge veins, little veins, like tons of discoloration, tons.
Yeah.
Like uncircumcised, which I've never even seen in real life. So when I'm giving these dick ratings, like, I don't know if I need to like compliment how big the head is, or like, I don't know if because like we pick apart our pussies, yet dicks are in the same caliber of uniqueness.
Yeah.
I think like one really embarrassing moment is I did a dick rating, and I think Rico had heard part of the video, and he heard me say how meaty this dick was, and it still haunts me today. But also, there was a time where someone wanted a dick rating, and I didn't find out if he wanted me to be mean or nice. But I was so used to everybody wanting me to be mean that I was like really mean. And so he was like, "Can you do that again?" But like nice.
So do you? I guess when I need to probably do it more. I need to ask before I send it. Like, do you like good Rebecca or bad Rebecca?
Yeah. That's exactly how you should put it.
It's a really good.
I didn't even know this was a thing.
Oh yeah, like people send you pictures of their dick, but I'm like, you have to pay first. Like, you have to send me your money first. But they send you a picture of their dick, and they want to know. Gosh, there's like several different categories. I used to have like a list. What do you rate it by?
This is hilarious. I love it.
The birth. Manscaping.
Every guy gets a 7 out of 10. I don't care what it looks like. But I talked to a girl. She said, because it's blurry before you open it, she's like, if they don't tip me, I always ask them, like, oh, did you just send me a thumbs up? I hadn't opened it. Like, it looks like that.
That's funny.
But I charge more for a voice recording or a video, but I have a script that I will manipulate. But I say very frequently, like, oh my God, look how hard you are for me. And sometimes if they don't send their balls, I'm like, can you please send me a picture of your big juicy balls? Like, that's going to turn me on so much, just to make them feel like I want more, because it's turning them on to send pictures to me. So instead of just sending an automated reply, I'm like, ooh, please give me more to like dissect. I want to see it all.
Start sending Cassie some dick pics to rate.
How interesting.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of girls on my Twitter when I'm just overwhelmed with dicks. I'm like, can you guys rate them for me? And everyone's like,
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's handy.
But I love being mean about them way more. It's much more fitting for me to be mean than endearing.
Same. Yeah, exactly. Is there like a favorite role that you play in this world? Like, is there like, I know you do some role play, but like, is there a favorite character, or I'm sure you've created like several personas. Good Rebecca, bad Rebecca.
Something about black lipstick puts me in a type of way.
Yeah, I'm picturing leather.
I can't think of the kink it's called. It's just when you're straight like shaming guys, like calling them little bitch boys and degrading them.
What is that?
Just telling them how like puny and pathetic they are. I know there's it's not even coming to my head. Humiliation. Humiliation's extremely fun for me, and boundaries are so important with that because there's a lot of bad words that subs will want you to use or not use, with consent. But it's like afterwards, I just get like this huge rush. It feels like I'm doing something very bad, but safely. I definitely think that would be it. And putting on my my cute little glasses, like I love putting those on. It puts me in a mood. But nothing like I just hate like putting on makeup and costumes. It takes me the whole day. I'd so much rather roll out of bed in mismatched underwear and be like, hey bitch, good morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that much better too.
Like I see you all done up and I'm like, oh, you're a work of art, but that's just not me, but it makes other people feel more like in their alias when they do that, I think.
It is kind of exhausting though. Like I know I don't put nearly half the effort in because, I'm Monday through Friday a dental hygienist and I don't wear makeup during the week because it's like, what's the point? I'm wearing a mask, a gown, like all this crazy PPE. So it's like when I get home, I'm tired from my day, but also I don't want to like put the face on and the costumes on either. So this is like a weekend look only.
I love that. I'm curious if, obviously your job doesn't know about it, right?
Some of the girls I work with do. I kind of share with them. But I think it's going to be pretty open.
Your dentist follows my meme page? Or did I imagine that? Somebody you said does.
Oh, no, that was a patient of mine.
Oh, yes. My God.
I was telling him about I talk to my patients about everything. So I was telling him about the podcast happening. But I gauge. I'm not going to tell like a 64-year-old woman, but I'm doing a podcast. Because usually the question is, oh, what topic? So no, I don't do that. But just a patient.
Oh, okay.
That, yeah.
So it wouldn't violate policy or like termination.
My office is like so laid back. Pretty much as soon as this goes out, people are gonna know a lot more about me than they ever have known. So,
but I feel like you're on the tamer side of virtual work with the feet stuff. I feel like that's the gateway.
Yeah, no, that's so true. Like I think I even told you I didn't even know feet. Like I didn't even realize like the abundance of people interested in feet until like quarantine happened, and then I realized there's like much weirder things out there. So like you can look at my feet and pay me for them. That's fine.
Cassie, what would you do if you were a sex worker? What would be your niche?
Humiliation.
I could see that. Yes, I could. You have a great voice for it too.
Yeah, thank you.
I think Caitlin would be really good at that too.
She would be amazing at that. Yeah, she really would.
Our other mutual friends.
Yes, I love Caitlin is my best friend. I can't wait to have her on here.
Is that the one that I said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's awesome.
And she always sends me really like brilliant ideas about podcasting and stuff. I'm like, well, send them to Cassie now.
I know. I'm going to put you on the spot on this one. So you, such a philanthropist. I feel like obviously you always are giving back to your people, and you appreciate the world for appreciating you. So
that's a good point.
First question is, where all your business names are amazing.
They're so good.
So where do you come up with them? First question.
When I'm driving and there's no music on, or right before I go to bed and I'm sitting there mind racing.
Okay.
It's the serendipity 100%.
Yeah.
I remember go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, you tell me first.
I remember exactly what road I was on when I came up with horny stoner, because I kept thinking of every word that was like sexy and every word that was like someone who smokes pot. And I remember like I was like kinky cannabis or like pretty pot girl, I don't know. And then it just happened, and it was like I had to pull over, go to GoDaddy.com and buy all the domains like right then.
Yeah,
it
was an aha moment when you said it. Do you think you can give us, or your listeners, your followers, give us a business name and or idea
in regards to
anything that you would want? So you have a plethora already under your belt. So for your people, let's get one.
Anytime I'm thinking of names, I'm like looking through a thesaurus, like
thesaurus,
a thesaurus or Urban Dictionary.
Yeah,
That's the place. Yeah,
I definitely girls ask a lot about names for their OnlyFans, so I always encourage names. Let's use mine for example, Rebecca Blue. The B in Becca and the B for blue, it just rolls off the tongue. It's 2 syllables and 1 syllable. It's kind of like with dogs. They say they respond better if their name's just 2 syllables. So when it comes to names like that, like Ricky Ray, like it's great work for porn, and it's similar for, I think, Blades for Babes, my knife shop, like the Bees, Alien Outfitters, it has the 2 vowels. So those in my head, like I try to think of like how words look and when you write them in cursive. Things are like that for branding are very important to me. But as far as just like a totally random idea, I'm looking at this sticker of bubbles on my desk, and I was thinking, what if we made like a virtual Powerpuff Girls and they were like crime fighters against trolls on the internet?
Oh, that's so good.
So it's kind of like the foundation that helps with women, for me too, like creating a fund for women to fight in court. Like, what if we created a little girl gang? We could create a fund to help sue people who go against the DMCA and, like, take people's porn content and share it. Because that's totally unlawful, but sex workers usually don't know their rights or have the funds to sue websites for monetizing it, or suing people who blackmail them. I don't know what I'd name them, like Powerpuff Girls, like... girls against something with a G.
Yeah.
Something fighting fuckboys. I don't know.
I guess that would be a good way to start. The next question was like
Femmes fighting fuckboys. Something like that.
Yeah. Anything for like any advice against bullies and trolls? Like I kind of stopped using Reddit because I was constantly getting trolls, and like every time I would post, it would be like just something random and annoying in my messages. So I kind of stopped there. But I'm sure you.
How do you respond, Cassie? You got any trolls on Nasty Girl or Nasty Girls Club?
Well, I don't post myself, personally on there, but we get trolls all the time. But it's mostly just people, butthurt about, like I'm claiming tiny dick or laughing at someone's trauma. That's
well, apparently they have a tiny dick if they're
exactly,
that sensitive.
which is my coping mechanism anyway, and I think that's funny. So yeah, no, I honestly ignore them. It's stepping into the public eye ourselves. I think that will be of course people are going to hate on us and pick out every weird detail.
I think you'd be surprised though. What's nice about podcasts is that people can't really comment on them unless like reviews, but there's no comment section, which I really enjoy. Like I used to put out content, like, you know, when I got arrested or my, you know, my surgery, and like I did it on my podcast first, and I'd be like, okay, I just poured out this information, like, where's the feedback? And I was like, oh, it's kind of nice that I don't have to filter through it, because if you are a brand owner, you have to listen to your customers, and I'm a brand as well, so I need to see what's influencing people or what people aren't magnetic to. So not reading the comments isn't an option unless I hired someone to. Still would be difficult to. Ignoring it, I mean, you are a superhero if you just know how to ignore energy. You know, you must be walking around with a virtual shield, and being an empath, that's impossible for me. So I feel the need to respond to people, but I do it in a really polite way. And I'm like, look, whatever you're going through, I don't mind being your punching bag. Hurt people. You know, you might be having a really bad day and I triggered you. Like, I want to send you some love, because 99% of the time, that is always the situation. I like, how does happy people don't hate, and hateful people aren't happy? I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's hard though. Like, the internet's a scary place, and people justify that, oh, you put yourself out there, you have to take it too. Like, well, why isn't anyone focused on stopping, like, or restricting words? It's not fucking free speech. It's fucking hate speech and fucking bad energy, and just...
I do feel like the small amount that I even will see on your comment section, though, is all positive stuff. Like, so
I think TikTok's the only place where, like, the little kids come out to...
Yeah.
Stir up the pot.
Right.
Someone called me musty the other day. I was like, well, people buy my musty panties, so whatever.
Let's get to the spicy stuff.
Oh, yes.
Let's get a
Right.
spicy.
My favorite question was the one that I asked Cassie first. Like, when we text every day now, and we're just now getting to know each other. But are you a certified freak every day of the week?
I'm not every day of the week. I'm not. Honestly, though, I do try to masturbate every day. So if that makes me one, then yes. But sometimes it's like it's an angry masturbation.
Yeah.
Thank God for the body wand, right?
No, it's right here. I did it before the show to get my brain working.
Yeah. I was asking if we should. We're waiting on our mics if we should just have stand-ins with our Hitachis.
That would be good.
Yeah.
And, oh my God, why not? That'd be perfect.
Yeah.
I love that.
What is the most unconventional place that you've gotten freaky?
I hope my neighbors aren't listening, but they're all like 60. But we have like a horse trail in our neighborhood, and it has this like drop off where you could drop a canoe and like literally go into the ocean. So I walked down and sat by the water on the little wooden thing, and I told Jay, I was like, I want you to walk back towards the front of the trail and like record on, like, now that the phones have like the wide angle lens, it looks a lot like a GoPro. So I was like, I want you to, record, and I want you to act like you're there to chop down trees in the neighborhood, and I'm just this like alone girl in the woods, just like,
Does he play along well?
Well, he comes down and he's like, what are you doing, little girl? And I'm just like, I don't know, what should I be doing? Like, can I help you? What are you doing? And it was so funny because he did pretty good, and he just, like, I know he's worried that, like, a neighbor will come down there and it would be very bad. So I get why, like, he didn't want to, like, completely follow through. But we did have some very nice pound town behind a tree. And I've never done it in the woods ever. So I was, like, literally, we got home and I was about to punch him in the face. I was so horny. I was like, that was the best. And now I'm always like, can we go behind a tree, please?
Just grow your own in your backyard.
I can't think.
No, that's a great one.
He just doesn't want to, like, do anything in too public because of, like, the risk of just, I guess, getting arrested for that. But, like, I could give two shits. I'm like, arrest me.
Yeah.
What's in your porn search or Pornhub history? What are we gonna find?
Let's see. History, show full history, porn. Oh my god, fucking a Popeyes chicken sandwich because Popeyes was trending on Twitter because of that, so I had to see why.
Oh my God. Well, now I'm like very
Amazing.
curious, and I'm gonna have to go look it up.
Hand job and blow job under the table at Popeyes.
So everything Popeyes, okay.
So let's see.
Sponsored by Popeyes.
Yeah. Yes.
So I really like watching gay porn. I like watching guys fuck. I really like massage porn.
I love massage porn.
Those are my top two.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think massage porn is very slow though, but I like it because I feel like I just really like being touched. I think that's where it comes from.
Well, women need that sensual foreplay for them to open up and orgasm better. So that's why 100% massage porn gives you those types of feels. It's very sensual. And then when they're like rubbing like close to the pussy and like 10 minutes later they aren't even in there and you're like, by then you're just like.
Yeah.
So, but I love it. Like when girls have big old titties and they're just like massaging them. They're just like two balloons. I'm like, so good. Yeah. So good. Love it. I'm a mess. I know.
So I wish I had a picture to like attach to this video, but there's, so if you go on your Instagram, it's the huge dildo that you have. It's huge. Have you used that before?
Oh, no.
That one looks dangerous. Like,
no, I can't take a big dick. I can't. I usually have to hold the base so it doesn't go in all the way. And my OBGYN says my cervix is tilted because they check it for my IUD. So she was explaining to me like those, not stupid, but those little cushions people sit on. She was like, that's why they use them. So we tried one like maybe a year ago and it was really nice, but I hate like putting it next to the bed and being like, grab Roxy. But yeah, I think like 6-7 inches, my pussy is like perfect getting that much in there. And I actually sell toys now. They're cock rings that have a bigger expansion so that when you sit on a dick, like it stops at the cock ring. So, because it's just too pinching for me. Yeah, I'm definitely more topical and clitoral. So, you guys.
I was going to ask if you're like the unicorn that can come with just penetration alone.
Maybe like, it's just hard to say because I think we all think we're coming when that happens, but I think it's just hitting the back of the clitoral wall, and it's like, I've read about it. I don't want to say it the wrong way, but that's just my understanding. I'm sure some people are G-spot whores, which is great. But I definitely have Hitachis plugged in almost every room so that if I'm giving a blowjob, I'm taking care of myself. If I'm getting hit from behind, I need it there. So
same. I thought I was like something was really, really wrong with me because I had never like just came from just a dick alone. And then
it's hard.
Yeah.
It's to do.
Can you?
Yeah, but
wow.
It's like
impressed.
Yeah.
I mean, if their cock is more curved, that's definitely beneficial. I've rated some curved cocks before, and I've made them know, like, you're special.
Mm-hmm. I feel the same, though, as Anna with the taking dick. It's funny. I will tell my man, like, you know, we'll be done. I'll be like, man, I own that shit. I did that whole thing. He was like, dude, half of my dick was in you the whole time. And then I'm like,
damn it.
No, like, yeah.
No, there's like, I don't know if it has to do with the moon or my cycle, but it's probably 1 or 2 times of the month where I'm just like pound town so hard. And that's when I know I'm like, if it was like ginormous right now, like the size of that thing, I'd probably want to take it. But that's very rare that happens. I don't know why. but you know how it is. Like, you're in one of those moments and you're just like, harder, harder. And you're like, harder. Like, come on.
I feel it the next
like,
day.
kill me.
Yeah.
That's another thing I like. I really want to get slapped and choked harder, but we had a bad choking experience, so he doesn't want to go through that again.
Because there was like a meme that was like, you idiots, when we tell you to choke us, don't like crush our windpipe or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like, I want bruises. I do. Yeah. Like, I have to slap myself. No, but I love him for not wanting to hurt me, but
I know.
I think.
But hurt me.
Yeah.
Do you think like it's hard maintaining your relationship and sex life with like how busy you are, or is that a part of like the me time that you make sure that you get that in with him?
I think it's just hard when you've been with someone for nearly a decade to keep it spicy. You just get comfortable with what you like, and it ebbs and it flows. When you're stressed, it's a lot harder to have sex. And if I'm stressed about work, it in turn makes him stressed about work. But he makes our home environment really nice. So now that I'm getting out of the house to go to work, when I come home, it's a lot more of an environment to have better sex. And it's just, you always have to try. I don't think it ever just comes easy for everyone. I think you both have to actively know, like, oh, okay, we haven't, the weekend went by, we didn't have to have sex. Like, let's both focus on that this week. Because we're the type, like, if we go out to eat, we come home, we just want to sleep. We're not, like, ready to bang. And now that made me think of, we actually did go out to eat the other night for the first time, it felt like, in 6 months. And I had 2 martinis, and on the way home, I just wanted to give him roadhead so bad. And I was pretty sloppy drunk, and I was, like, trying to spit on my hand to, do the handy part, and I'm, like, spitting all over the window. It was just, and we had, like, classical music playing, but it made me feel really good to, like, switch it up a little bit. I think it's important to just surprise people. I ended up spitting his cum out the window, and it got all over the side of my G-Wagon. So it was fun.
Perfect. Yeah.
But no one's
Right.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I know Cassie's like, I don't want to hear about Jay's cum.
I know. No, it's okay.
But like, in the beginning, it was so much and so much sex that when you're having sex every day and then years and years go by and then it's, sometimes once a week, I know for me, being a lot younger, I thought it was a problem, and then I realized how normal sex didn't have to be every day. Because if it's good all the time, how can I explain this? Like, if you're just having sex once a week, but then you have, like, really, really good sex, like, all weekend, then it makes it, like, exciting. Versus when you're having sex all the time and then, like, you don't do it for a day or two, you feel like something's wrong and you, like, can't keep up with that train of good sex. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Amen to that.
That was a mouthful.
That was
good. These aren't necessarily spicy, but I want to ask you these. I feel like people will want to know too. They're little, like, just basic rapid fire questions. So, your favorite food?
Ice cream, vanilla ice cream. It's very sweet.
I got my whole best.
I watch all of your like stories where people ask you questions, and I feel like that one comes up a lot.
Really?
And she's like ice cream with like syrup.
Oh, right? My God, I was gonna explain it, but you said rapid fire. But when I was a kid, we always had Breyer's vanilla bean ice cream in the fridge. I'd take Hershey's chocolate syrup, put so much on it, and then I'd like stir it up until it was this like light brown paste. And put like a little bit of milk in it. It was just really strange, but I always thought if I was stranded on an island, like, I'd be very content with that. So, I don't know. It's kind of weird.
I love it. Your favorite cocktail? What drink is your go-to order?
The last word.
What's that?
I don't want to say it the wrong way. I'm very fancy with the cocktails.
I know.
Yeah, I would know. But like our last guest too, it was like lavender martinis.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like, mine was just a fucking screwdriver.
Well, mine do whiskey and water. That's what I like.
I love whiskey and water.
It
Is that like
is.
a chaser or like you put them
No,
together?
together. Yeah.
Oh, weird.
I know.
So it's one part gin, one part lime juice, one part green chartreuse, and one part maraschino liqueur, like the cherries. It's like
Ooh.
sweet motor oil. And then my second choice is Cooper and Thief wine because it's aged in whiskey barrels. And
yum.
it's like the only wine I can drink now because it makes me feel a type of way. No other wine can.
I love it. Celebrity crush.
It was Leo, but now
Me too.
now he's just like, okay.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt in that Hollywood movie, Once a Time in Hollywood.
I don't think I know that one.
That was the latest Tarantino movie. That was good. I think that's pretty basic.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Yeah,
Give me
too.
a black eye.
Okay, and last thing, what music are you listening to right now?
Billie Holiday, jazz, every day for like 3 months.
I love that.
And Yoga Tribe Pandora. It's like nature sounds. I don't know. It helps with all the chaos in my head.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're more dominant or submissive in your relationship?
In my relationship, I'm pretty dominant, but I want to be submissive in the bedroom. So some people would call that a switch.
Yeah.
But what's that song by Megan Thee Stallion? She's like, don't fuck me like that, fuck me like this. That's like me all the time.
I would think that because you're so like dominant in your world, in your sex worker world, that you'd be more submissive at home.
Exactly. And I was a lot more submissive when I was growing into my womanhood. I think we all kind of are, but now finding my power and realizing, oh, I'm sexy, I'm a bad bitch. Now I love like pushing him around, and I push him around so much that he has to be dominant, otherwise he's gonna get beat up.
Oh, Jay,
I
love
know
him.
it, poor thing.
I miss him.
You know how many every day I'm like, babe, you chose me. You chose me.
Yeah. Remember that.
Poor thing.
What's your love language?
Quality time.
Yeah.
Eye contact. Tantra.
I'm horrible with eye contact, I swear.
Like, what does he say? We'll watch a movie. He's like, we had quality time. I'm like,
No.
are you looking at me?
No, I completely agree with
I do like gifts sometimes, but now that I get so much stuff in the mail, like I'll get that serotonin and then it goes away. But I do definitely like pick a flower off the side of the road, and that will mean more to me than like a Rolex watch, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just that like you knew he thought about you.
My mom would always write notes on my napkins in my lunchbox, and like there's a freaking gnat in here for like Valentine's Day, she'd have big baskets for me. So then I'm with someone who like didn't partake in a lot of family activities or holidays. So like Valentine's Day comes around and he's like, what, a gift basket? Like I'm lucky to get a card. But he's learning.
Yeah.
I gotta train him good.
I think all men need to learn about Valentine's Day.
Yeah. They learn about a lot of things.
Yeah, they do. Bless their hearts. So leading into our last question, I wrote this little rhyme that
Cassie.
I did.
Rhymes.
I
like
wrote this
right.
little rhyme.
This little rhyme, and I'm going to read it to you, and then I'll ask the question, and you tell me. You tell me. What.
You're
Okay.
so creative. You are special in a really good way.
So are you?
Like a curved dick. You were special.
Thank you, guys.
That should be like that's curved dick energy.
Yes. Yeah.
Special.
You know what? Which is a humble brag too. I was literally thinking today, which obviously not everyone that will be on the show is my friend, but the majority of people that we've set up so far is. And I was like, dude, I'm like bragging about myself because I have some fucking badass people in my life.
You really do.
Yeah.
Because you're a magnet.
Exactly.
You get what you give.
You do. All right, my rhyme. So, when you're nasty, the world is a better place. You might embrace it by sitting on a face. You may also demand respect because of your actions or aesthetic, whether you became a badass over time or whether it's genetic. Thank you for joining us, for being a part of the team. You've empowered the world. Your being is supreme. So that is to you, Anna. So my question is,
That was really nice.
So much.
my question is, what do you think makes you nasty? Yeah.
Well, we have to define nasty.
I know. Well, so you can take it as literally nasty, sitting on a face, demanding respect because you're empowered and an intelligent woman, a CEO.
When you were talking about genetic, I thought about my podcast episode with my mom, and it literally changed my life, having probably the best conversation I'll ever have with her. And it made me realize a lot. And I know it's kind of like a cheesy answer, but I think she birthed a queen, and she gave me my nasty. And she actually waited till marriage to have sex. So I always tell her, I was like, your uterus must have been like prime. Like it was like God was like, you're going to create Ana Dee, so there are going to be no dicks in there, and it's just going to like marinate for success. I always tease her about that. And she's like, honey, I had your brother first. Like, you were not.
It still counts.
I know. I was like, well, he broke it apart for me so I could just slide right out. So
yeah,
it's silly. And then my other thought, I think anyone who has daddy issues, I think that breeds a nasty girl too. Just facts. But
completely agree.
But now in my current state, I think the power is my nasty, and knowing that my nasty is power, and to capitalize on the nasty.
I couldn't agree more. You're like so intelligent. You're so beautiful because of that, and just a light worker and
you are officially in the Nasty Girls Club in our clubhouse.
I put that shit on a t-shirt, remember? When we did our little things.
Of course.
Good old days.
Yeah.
My cheeks hurt from smiling so much.
I know. Well, thank you for joining us.
Yes, this has been so fun. Girl talk.
I'm going to go cry. No, I had fun too. Thank you for having me and asking great questions.
Yeah, you're welcome. Tell everyone, not that they don't already follow you, but where they follow all your things.
Okay, so you can shop my stores at alienoutfitters.com, thehornystoner.com, and bladesforbabes.com. You can follow me on Instagram at Miss Mothership. You can follow me on TikTok and Twitter at Rebecca Blue with 2 Ks. I'm also on OnlyFans at Rebecca Blue with 2 Ks. I'm on YouTube at Ana Dee, and I also have a podcast, the Slutrepreneur podcast. We now have merch at slutrepreneur.com, and I have a mini ebook series at darksidehustle.com. It's also available at rebeccablue.com if you want an OnlyFans shout out, or when the full book comes out, it'll be there too. So sorry, that was a lot.
Which is what that means.
We love it.
I'm surprised I remembered it all.
Yeah, for real.
That was a mouthful for sure.
Okay.
Okay, bye everybody.
Today's episode is brought to you by The Horny Stoner. Shop all of their amazing goods at thehornystoner.com and use the code SLUT for 10% off of the best bongs and butt plugs on the planet.